but we've been hearing a lot from very upset people about their Eversource bills, specifically just this past weekend. What can you tell people here in Connecticut who just saw those bills go up pretty significantly?
Yeah, people have a right to be angry. I'm angry. We have some of the highest electricity prices in the country, and that's been the case for some time. The Office of the Attorney General has always had a strong presence in front of our utility regulators, and we've always had a strong in-house unit that fights high electricity and utility prices and rates. We have a dedicated unit within our energy and consumer protection departments that advocate and fight for consumers against unreasonable rate increases and high rates. Unfortunately, right now, we're seeing a spike in people's utility bills across the state. There are a lot of reasons for that I'm happy to get into, but we're taking these complaints very seriously, as we always do. And if people are seeing unusually high increases on their bills, they can feel free to reach out to my office, and we can try to get to the bottom of it.
Now, is something like that, is that even legal here in the state of Connecticut for your bill to go up such a significant amount without notice?
So our electricity rates are regulated by at least two regulators. The first is the Public Utility Regulatory Authority, or PURA, and they approve all of the rates and rate increases. And often there will be a request by one of the state's utilities, including Eversource, to increase rates. And we, the state of Connecticut, acting through me, the Attorney General, will oppose those increases. We often do that. And we often oppose very technical changes in the law that ultimately are going to cost us money, right? So sometimes you'll hear me fighting against a congestion charge or a transmission charge at the federal level. That's because I know it's going to cost us more money on our bills. The other regulator is the federal government. And one of the reasons why people are seeing increases in their bills is because of federally mandated transmission charges. There are also other federally mandated charges like congestion charges. But in this case, we're talking about federally mandated transmission charges. And what those are basically are guaranteed profits and payments to transmission providers, grid operators, companies that move electricity around the state and to your businesses and homes. Those charges are mandated by the federal government. We don't have a direct role in those decisions, except that we fight them. And we're often before the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission on behalf of the state of Connecticut and all the ratepayers, saying that you can't do this to us. Sometimes they go ahead and do it anyway, and that's why you're seeing those charges on our bills.
So I know lots of folks across the state are signing online petitions. Can they forward those to you? Is there anything else besides calling your office? Are those petitions helpful?
Yes, they are helpful. They should make sure they understand the electricity bills. All of us are using more electricity now because many of us are home. We're either working from home, as I am at this moment, and many people are, quarantined because of the pandemic, or at least have reduced hours in their workplace. And obviously, a lot of people aren't going away for the summer either. So be careful that you understand your energy usage and that you're being efficient with your energy use. But if you understand that part of your bill and you want to know more, for example, about the transmission charges, there's another charge that's on people's bills right now as well, related to our carbon-free footprint, but also supporting the Millstone power plant. And that was a policy decision made a couple of years ago, to keep Millstone open so that it can meet our state's carbon-free goals, but also provide that base load of electricity. That's another policy decision that's partly the cause of an increase on your bills and your rates.
Okay, and then just switching gears a little bit as well at this time, you were also involved in the special session on absentee ballots for the upcoming November election. Do you want to go into that just briefly for us?
Yeah, so I wasn't involved in the special session, but before the special session, a lawsuit was filed. There are a number of lawsuits challenging Connecticut's absentee ballot law. The governor issued an executive order saying that everybody should be able to vote by absentee for the primary, and the General Assembly is now debating absentee ballots for the primary and the general election. But this was a case about the primary, and the governor decided that it's a horrible idea to force all of us into a funnel in the middle of August into cramped polling locations across the state to vote in person in the middle of a public health emergency, right? And to subject all of us to the risk of infection or worse. And so he made this decision under his executive authority in the middle of an emergency. We backed him up. I had the governor's back. In the Supreme Court on Monday, I argued before the Chief Justice that the lawsuit had no merit and that the governor had the authority to take the action that he did to make sure that all of us can vote absentee and protect ourselves and our families. I won that case in the state Supreme Court. They refiled again in the Superior Court the next day. We won again. That case now is again on appeal for a number of reasons, and so we'll handle that in August as well.
Okay, so we'll have to make sure that we're paying attention to some of those changes coming forward. Again, Attorney General, if you want to make sure that you're giving people the information that they need, if they're seeing some of those scams, if they feel that they're being scammed, or if they have complaints across the state in terms of like maybe price gouging, those travel complaints, one more time, where can they find you?
Yes, please contact us at ct.gov/AG. Fill out a formal complaint form. Just so you know, we need you to fill out a formal complaint so that we can act on the information you provide. We can't respond to complaints on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, right? We need something that is detailed and actionable so that we can take action. So if you provide that information at ct.gov/AG or attorney.general@ct.gov, that's the best way to reach us. You can also try us by phone, 860-808-5000.
Okay, fantastic. Attorney General William Tong, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Caitlin.